My name is Chris Brandt, and snowmobiling is my passion. This wide-open podcast is here to share stories, tips, and tactics to make you a more successful backcountry rider.
Blake, some people are excited that we released a YouTube video today.
I've seen that.
It's been a little bit. Yay, new video.
That one was supposed to come out last week.
Elon and the Starlink were struggling last week.
Mm-hmm.
When is Chris going to put some advertising on the bottom of his skis? Because that's all you see. That's like one of the nicest things that anyone's ever said to me on the internet.
Put that in the top 5 nicest comments ever on YouTube.
Yeah. All right, let's roll. All right, boys and girls. What is up? Yep, we are doing it. We're sitting down here talking about snowmobiling. I've got TJ and Blake here. Guys, it is March 17th, Tuesday. You know what we should be doing today?
Guiding.
You know what we're not doing? Guiding. This has been a bummer snow year. Bummer snow year, but we've got to do some cool stuff. For those of you guys who didn't know, I got to go to check off a bucket list item, got to go to Revelstoke. You guys went back up to Kasturkey's early season, got to ride there. You went to Togedy a couple times. So it wasn't all a loss, but
we got to ride with some shredders up in Jackson area.
Yep.
It was fun.
Yep.
DJ and I had a good time with that.
We had an awesome early season.
Yeah, awesome.
That was great.
You guys did.
Yeah.
Kind of turned off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it never turned on here. Really.
It never did. So, so what we're going to do for this little video is we're going to go kind of give a year-end review already in March, which is kind of depressing, but not really. People ask, have you ever seen it this bad? And it's like, nope, haven't. Oh, by the way, I'm sick. That's why there's quite a bit of distance between me and poor TJ.
Risking our lives to do this podcast.
You should have seen these guys wrestling for that chair over there. And if you know Blake, not many guys are going to out-wrestle him. So, all right. Anyway, just thought it'd be fun. We're gonna dive into this year, and there was a lot of excitement surrounding this year. Just a lot of stuff coming into the season that I personally was about as excited as it gets. I had a new partnership with Logan Trailers. We finally got the Camzo Powerlifter 310 into people's hands besides ours. So that was exciting. Fox, all brand new lineup. We had QSE. We had the new lightweight lineup. That was super cool. I selfishly think I had one of the coolest sled builds. And I wasn't expecting that. So I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, what might have been one of the most perfect sleds that we've ever built here at BBA. I've really enjoyed that, so we'll talk about that. Another new product that some of you guys might be really interested in, Carbon Sled has their new SL5 all-carbon skid. In addition to, they have a new linkage for stock suspension stuff that we'll dive into, so that's kind of cool. The new Polaris accessory lineup was a hit this year. Handlebar bags, bumpers, all that fun stuff, toolkits, saws. Yeah, so it was, coming into this season, I know I was about as excited as it got. I know you guys, came out in November and we were slammed here in the shop doing builds, building all of our own stuff. And, from a sales standpoint through the BBA online store, this was our biggest year ever. So I can't say thanks enough to all of you guys. But again, it's like, it's been just fun to see the success of just everything, and I was thinking about this before we jumped on here, and I'll get you guys rolling here so I don't just do all the talking again. But everyone's like bummed that Polaris didn't have a new chassis and a 900 boost and all that stuff. And, I'm looking at it this way, and you can go look back at each, whether it's the Pro chassis or the Axis chassis, those last couple years were so refined, so awesome. Like I literally, I have on my list here to talk about, I rode the perfect sled this year. Like I don't know what I can do to make it better. And that is what, so like the people bitching that there's not a new chassis or a 900 boost. It's like, dude, have you ridden what we get to ride? And we've all got to talk about that because we've had to spend some seat time in the trucks going to find snow here in Colorado, right? So we've been able to talk about that. So let's start breaking it down. TJ, talk about your sleds that you built this year, what you rode, and kind of like, just what your overall thoughts and impressions of your sleds.
So I'm a sucker for the 900 boost deal. I go all out on that. So built 2 900 boost, one 155, 165, bunch of lightweight goodies. Of course, the new Barant track and QSE, Diamond S, SLP stuff. I mean, kind of went all out on both of them, really. One I finished yesterday. It's never been rode.
Your 165, which I was going to talk to you about.
Yeah,
How many times this year that we got to ride together when all you were cussing was like, I wish I had my 165, which you know better.
I've known that for years. You don't guide or ride with Chris on 55. And unfortunately, I just never got the time to finish that. It's crazy that we weren't able to guide, but it never was slow.
No, we were
busy all season. So that sled sat in the corner, like kind of half wrapped, and some of the parts in it, and we never had time.
You just didn't have time to do it.
To finish it, yeah. The customer stuff comes in, and that's first. And
no different than Blake. Your sled, you just got done getting your
8 o'clock last night. I was still working on it.
on your sled,
it's just everything. Like TJ said, the customer stuff comes first, and then we just kind of put our stuff off. Unfortunately, But what I did this year, instead of ordering a 55 and a 65, because I do know better, I just ordered
finally.
2 165s.
Yeah. So then you were set.
Yeah, that was good.
So TJ, your early season stuff, you were riding a 55 with a Powerlifter 310, Fox QSE, and a 900.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to be fair, you rode the shit out of that 55.
That was a really fun sled.
Pretty
I still
legit
love
snowmobile.
doing all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. Yeah.
And that sled, when I go ride with like my back home group, it's like the perfect sled.
Yep.
It's so much fun to go do that fun stuff out in the meadow or however we're riding that day. Down to the Chris Barant Extreme where you need the 165. So just an awesome sled for that kind of stuff.
So let's just talk about this. We're going to break this down, guys. We're going to break this down kind of by products. Okay, so one of the texts I'll never forget that I got from you, you were riding with your crew up in Togety, had some really dang good early snow, and it was kind of your first ride with your big sled all built with a 155 Powerlifter 310, and I asked you, how's the track working? Mm-hmm. And your response was, I would have rather had my 155 310 than some of the guys were riding 165s, because I just felt like the track did everything I needed it to do. So kind of talk about that.
That was the first time I had really got to ride like back to back. Powerlifter versus in this case it was a 325, which is still an amazing track.
Yeah, which we know.
The best track you can buy on a stock sled. But I got to ride my 55 with a Powerlifter on it, and then I jumped on Drake's 165 325, and it's still like it does the 165 stuff. It wants to go up, but that Camzo track just like gets up on the snow so good and wants to go forward. Where we see with that 325, it wants to dig in a little bit and fight to get out of that trench. So, I remember texting you and was like, I would take my 55 Powerlifter over
a 65. Yeah.
And I didn't even get to ride my 65 Powerlifter.
Well, and that's where I come in. Like, I'm full cheater, right? I mean, I have it all. I have the new SL5, the QSE, and the Powerlifter. And, I mean, for me, like, I've never had so much confidence in turning uphill. So what's interesting, and we'll get into this when we start talking about what some of the new attributes of that carbon sled SL5 are, but again, so you really like the bow ties, hopovers, like all the fun stuff that a 55 boost on
shines.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's so fun. And I like I've had fun doing that, but where my fun is now is I want to go pick the steepest, most technical line, and I want to get up to the top. And so obviously, like, I set my sled up to that. And I think what's interesting is that's one of the things I think, like, and we talked about this in our track podcast when we were comparing the 325 and the powerlifter. The 325, because it does like kind of stay in that snow a little bit, it does offer that playfulness because it's, I hate to use the word trenching, but it's not on top. It's kind of going through the snow, and the skis are light, and you can do all that stuff where like I feel, and especially in a 65, like that track, the powerlifter doesn't do that. It doesn't go in. It gets up on top, and you're just like, yeah.
I remember when we were filming, and I'm like, yeah, Chris, just stand it up right over here, you know, like we normally do. And you're like, dude, this thing just wants to go up. It doesn't even, I can't even dig this thing down, you know. So that was a direct, like, I was like, whoa, that's real.
Yeah.
You know, like the 325, you can get it to, if you stop and you hammer back in it, it'll go, and you can stand it up and do all the fun stuff, you know. So.
Yep. Yeah, which is awesome. Like, you know, you're like, go stand it up there, and it kind of does this halfway wheelie, sets it down, and then I just literally turn left and go straight up something with no in run.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, this is what my snowmobile does really good, is this, like this right here. Yeah, it's been overwhelming, the response and the reaction from people who have finally got to get this track on the snow. You know, when I went up to Revelstoke, I had one with me up there. A ton of guys up there were like just getting them on their sleds and experiencing kind of first ride stuff as well. And in that snow, holy cow, dude, it was impressive. Like
max traction.
Oh, it wasn't just traction, because again, a 325 has a lot of traction too, but it had speed, momentum, and what I really like about it is the handling side of things. It turns, it's predictable, it's all of those things. So yeah, it's been awesome hearing from a bunch of you guys who have got to ride the track this year, just how positive and stoked you've all been on it, which to be honest, and I don't want to sound cocky, but like, I mean, we've worked on this thing for 5 years. I have some very high standards, and it's the reason it took so long for it to come out. And so when it finally came out, I'm like, dude, people are going to freaking love this. And, you know, whether you're on a naturally aspirated sled or a boost sled, we heard just a ton of positivity. So that was cool.
We all know how good the track was since we've been able to ride it for the last couple of years. But I was nervous this year when it
goes to the masses.
Yeah, when it's going out to everybody, and I'm on all the social medias, like reading everything, and I'm just like, God, I hope everybody sees this track the way we do and enjoys this track the way we do.
Yeah, nothing
and I don't
worse.
think I've seen anything bad.
Yeah, nothing worse than releasing something and then everybody's like, "Oh man, it doesn't do what it's supposed to." It wasn't like that at all. So.
Yeah. Well, and whether, you know, when you're spending $2,100, you know, no matter if that's a track or like QSE or, you know, whatever, put whatever in that category, like that's a substantial amount to put into an already insanely capable and very good snowmobile. And so, like, you know, I always ask myself on this entire list of parts on my snowmobile, like, if this was my own money, would I be stoked on what that product is doing for my experience on the snow? And it's like, hands down, like, again, we're talking about the track here, but hands down, like, for my type of riding style and how I like to go a million miles an hour with my hair on fire going uphill, it's a big advantage, and I love advantages. So it's cool. I wish you guys would have got to ride your 65s this year. And we had our snow here. For one, we didn't have a bunch of it. The snow we did have, it was, we always joke about our sugar snow here. Well, we had sugar snow this year. Like
the sugariest
of sugar.
Yeah.
Going downhill was just stupid. Like, you couldn't actually go downhill. It would just dive and run you into a tree well. I freaking smoked one of my carbon side panels. Literally, like, I'd come up this gnarly climb, and I'm so pumped and, like, fit through these couple little trees, and I'm just pumped on the line. And I'm coming back down, and the snow starts to suck me in, and I'm just like, oh, God, I pin it. And, like, trying to get away from the sugar, and I go into a tree about this big and just freaking rip my damn side panel, and just, like, it was a slap in the face, like, hey, yeah, good job on the uphill, but you kind of got a little lazy going downhill, So, but anyway, this track shined in those conditions. And to your point of like watching social and what people are, there was a lot of apprehension of like, yeah, okay, so the track works in Brant snow, but how's it going to work in normal snow? And or like that's what the big thing up in Canada was like, is how is it going to work in snow with moisture? Right. And I knew, because I've got to ride like all snow conditions with it, but I knew like, yeah, it works good in my snow, but where people are going to be really stoked, like wait till you feel what 4 to 5 more miles an hour of track speed is in like normal snow. Like that's real.
And fast too.
It's fast.
Yeah. Like
Scary.
off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, for all you guys who, trusted the propaganda on the Camzo Powerlifter 310, stoked you guys enjoyed it. Glad. I've used the word stoked like 19 times.
You're hanging out in Canada too much, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, if I do that one more time, it's like $1 to both of you guys. I know, right?
Good deal.
But yeah, just it was great. And for you guys who were on the wait and see and kind of on the fence, you don't have to listen to me. You can go listen to the internet now, because there's a lot of positivity out there and a lot of feedback in different conditions and all of that. So, so that kind of covers the Powerlifter Camzo. Great job. I know it took us a long time, but it was worth it. So, excited for getting more people on it next season. We'll be doing a preseason program here in a couple weeks. Excited for that. Let's talk about, so we had to travel a little bit this year. Like, I know when I wanted to go ride with my kids, I couldn't just go ride out the backyard. So, we went up into northern Colorado quite a bit. So we got to travel in style this year.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
It was good.
So I'm gonna open it up to you guys first, because it was a big move. Going to Logan Coach, been with Trails West for a long time, and did some really cool things in this space in the industry. And but just like anything, wanted to keep rolling, keep doing bigger, better things, and put together a deal with Logan. And what were your guys' initial thoughts on kind of using the trailer, some of the differences that you saw and felt? And
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure. I'm not gonna bash on Trails West or anything like that.
Yeah, you own one.
I still have one.
Yeah.
And it's been great for us. But the Logan is just, it's that next step up, right? It's like going from a Chevy to a Ford. It's just that one.
I can't disagree with that.
So I'd say the best thing that I have found with the Logan is how warm they get inside. Best part of it is it keeps boss really happy.
Dude, it's a freaking hot box in here.
How fast they get warm inside. We can get in them, turn the heat on, and it's like 10 minutes, and we're turning the heat down.
We're running for the thermostat to shut the sucker
because we're
off.
Sweating.
Yeah.
So that, I'd say that's the biggest advantage for me to one of those trailers. And then I noticed, so you let me take it up to Steamboat with my group this year, and we would run the heat every night and all the sleds off, and how efficient the heaters were. We didn't use a lot of propane. I got all the sleds dry every night, never had to fill tanks, took them into town when I got back, and it was like we didn't burn barely any propane.
Yep.
So that's really cool to see that, and I think that's how they're insulated and just that big hot dog heater up front.
Yeah.
Like just
well,
working.
insulated, sealed, the efficiency of the heaters, just
all the stuff.
Yep.
One thing I really liked, and this kind of stuck out to me when I was wrenching in the sled because I caved an A-arm, I was just able to slide my sled over on the floor and tip it up, which was like it's the little things that make the difference, I think. Like that floor, it's nice to work on. Like I could kneel on it and not get,
The glides.
The glides into my knees and stuff like that. So I liked that. And then also, instead of like brooming out at the end of when we're done, like if like this year there was a lot of, trails were thin coming in and out. So stuff gets dirty. It's really easy to power wash that out and hit it with a squeegee instead of trying to broom it or do whatever with it. So I really like the floors and then the outside lighting in case you got to work on stuff outside.
Yeah, well, the outside lighting was pretty sweet for, wrenching on things when we got back, loading at the end of the day. For our scenario, we always back our sleds out when we get back to the shop and then fill them up at the slip tanks. And so like having just all of that, and it's awesome to hear your guys' take, which I second both your guys' opinions there. For me, here's what was interesting to me, and again, like long time relationship with Trails West. I have my damn name on the trailer, and they've been awesome, right? But for me, the biggest thing at the end of the year, and this happened, I've been primarily using just one gooseneck, the white gooseneck, like it's been up and down the hill a bunch of times, been to up north a bunch, and so I've got quite a few, got some miles on it. The rear tires still look brand new. The axles are straight. I look underneath, and the galvanized frame is like, it looks brand new, and there's no rust, and just again like that quality. And they're saying, and literally they freaking put it on the trailer, built to last. It's like, I'm normally excited to get a new trailer for the next season, and for me for this year, I was like, it's kind of a waste to get. I'm gonna it'll be awesome for a couple of guys to take advantage of a good deal on our demo trailers here, but this is a trailer I would run again next year, without question.
Right.
And I just that's a big difference when you're spending that kind of money.
Yeah, you're investing in a longer, potentially longer lasting. Product.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I really just enjoyed how it towed, just the creature comforts, and I really liked when our clients who have been with us for, we only did 4 groups, but it's the same 4 groups that have always been here. They get in the trailer and they're like, damn, dude, this is pretty nice. They know, right? They notice the little additions, and so that's awesome. And it's exactly what I had hoped for with the Switch, was that. So, excited. We got a bunch of cool, fun plans for the future with Logan as well. And year 1 was a success, and can't thank everyone at Logan for just all the they're so happy and supportive and love all the ideas. And we basically had an open book, what we got to do and what we get to do. And so, excited for next year, and it'll be even better. So good job, Logan. Appreciate that. Okay, let's talk about Fox. This year was another one that we, for the last 2 years, we've been able to do a bunch of testing and R&D on really what the market has been looking for or asking for a long time, which is single switch, single wire lockout feature in the rear skid. And so in addition to the all new QSE, all the shocks, the air shocks in the lineup got a healthy weight reduction. So like you literally can lose 6 pounds, up to 6 pounds, just swapping out your stock shocks for Foxes, which not only, so I mean, easy adjustability, ultimate lightweight, and lockout with all the shocks. So pretty cool there. People have just been really fired up, and I mean, you guys know, like, I mean, the first thing you guys do to your sleds is put Fox on, and you know, Blake, you've been a QS3 guy forever.
Yep.
And so, yeah. Talk about your guys' experience with QSE.
So for me, it's actually like it's an investment because of a couple reasons, right? I want comfort going down the trail, which it's for me. I'm trying to protect my camera gear. That's my main concern with the upgrade and shocks. So the reason that I was a QS3 guy for the longest time was because the IQS was great, right? But the install of it was, we see a lot of them that come in here that people do themselves that they're not done correctly. So the ones that we would do, the amount of time that it would take, it was just, for me, QS3 was just the way to go. And now QSE comes out, and I'm like, all right, sweet. Finally an easy install. Push button, lockout, like what we've all been waiting for, right? And the install couldn't be easier. And yeah, it held up for me all season, no problem. And I've got almost 700 miles on my one sled. So
yeah. Well, and talk about, you know, and like several times. So like, this is what I gave you so much shit about in the past.
Yeah.
Is like, you would invest the money in your shocks.
Yep.
But you wouldn't take the time to get off your snowmobile and put it in lockout when we're going uphill.
Hey, Blake, how's your lockout working?
I just turned it on.
You're supposed to do it before you're stuck.
Oh, that's the trick.
Oh!
And I'm like, and as you're upside down and I'm waiting for you to get up there, I'm like frustrated, right? I'm like, dude, like the whole reason you spent all that money is to use the feature, and you're like, but I get it, right? You get complacent, and you're just like...
There's a couple reasons for
that. Okay.
So, you guys know, okay, Chris does the line, right? So there's only one line in the hill. Now, if you get off your sled, either TJ or somebody else is taking number 2 line. So if you get off your sled to go to lockout, now somebody else takes that line, right? So now I got 2 trenches to deal with. When you're the third guy going up through Trenchlandia, it's never good for that. So I would always just be like, well, it's in 2, I'm good, like, go, right? And this is so easy because I've even found it where, like, I'm climbing up the hill, I forgot to put it in lockout, and it's kind of like my oh shit switch, you know, like you can feel the sled slowing down. So you're like, flip the switch, comes up on top, and now I got momentum again. So at least to get me a little higher, more stuck, you know, potentially make the line.
Well, I'm not going to discredit how you keep continuing to become a better rider. But this year, without question, you completed more lines and got to where you needed to go, like, bar none.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it was just cool to see. And so it's like all the things we talk about. It's like, yeah, well, you were using some of the tools that you had on your sled, and you were like being able to carry more momentum and like all of these things. And so, it was awesome to see you, like, the light bulb come on. I'm like, okay, yep, this works.
Yeah.
Like, really works.
Yeah.
TJ, what was your kind of
especially
feedback
on the 55, dude? I was on the 65 with it. So you were on 55. What was that like?
Like you guys said it all. It's just it's awesome. You just flip that switch, and it's like I have a 165 in my back pocket every time I flip that switch. So, I think the biggest thing I just want to say thank you, Fox, for simplifying our
especially from
our
the
deal.
install.
So from a shop side, a mechanic side of it, IQS was awesome. We really had it down to like a science on installing, how to make it last. But it's like, and we still did a couple this year, and it's a process.
Yeah,
like
big time.
it's a huge install. And this, they made it just so simple. Plug like 2 wires in, run your wire out of your skid, drill 1 hole. It's awesome.
Way easier.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was I was super excited to hear that we were going to that over the IQS. But I feel like I used lockout way more this year than I ever have before. Just because you would, like Blake said, Chris goes, all right, I'm getting up there before anybody else goes. And I might be in 2 and go try it. Don't make the line.
Right.
Then you come back down and you're like, okay, get off my sled, go to lockout.
Yeah, previously.
Yeah, now it's just, I just know. You flip that switch, go up, and what?
I was just thinking about the time you say, yeah, you come back down the hill. I'm like, I didn't even make it down the hill, dude. I was so twisted up.
And I noticed before QSE, I would go up in lockout and not make the switch at the top of the hill. And coming down in lockout isn't super great.
Nope.
And trying to circle drill, go back up in lockout
because
isn't super great.
because again, you're locked out, so the suspension is at full extension, and it's pushing that spindle into the snow.
Yeah. So just being able to make that, do your line in lockout, take it back out, easy, flip of the switch, come back down, flip the switch again, back in lockout, and go up. And that's like what we do all day. We go up, we come back down, we move over 5 feet, we go up again.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to add one more point on the QSE that I really liked, and it was kind of from necessity. But to your point, with the IQS, the fully electronic, controlled all 4 shocks, the lockout seemed more aggressive. It seemed like it was really locked out in lockout. And with what we have with QSE, it's not a 3-position switch anymore. It's drive mode and go uphill mode. Okay, so there had to be a little bit of compromise with that from like just a setting standpoint. And so what I have really enjoyed about QSE this year is in lockout, there were times previously in lockout that it's stiff to go up, but that stiffness, if you hit something in the snow, found something under the snow, hit an old track, that it could unsettle the sled a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I have found that this is like the perfect balance of like, you could go and, well, this happened to you. You broke a switch, right? So then it's stuck in lockout. Mm-hmm. You went and rode it for days. Mm-hmm. And you're like, yeah, I mean, it's not ideal for this, but like regular riding, like.
But it was doable.
It was doable. Versus in the previous version, kind of would have sucked to just ride in lockout all the time.
And I never experienced that because I never put IQS on my previous sleds. And is that something that Fox knew about and they changed? Is there some valving differences with our new QSE versus
it's a completely different system of how we do it. So it's a live valve system, like what they run on like the Raptor and the Razors and all of that stuff. It's basically a magnetic valve inside that basically opens and closes. Okay. And so, to be able to have, like, I think we just really found that sweet spot. Like, drive mode is perfect. It keeps the front end nice and happy and light. And then in lockout, it's not so planted that, that you're like, this isn't fun to ride, and I feel like I'm going to get bucked. It's more compliant.
So in what you're talking about for people who aren't necessarily familiar with this is that if you hit something aggressive enough, it's going to basically not come out of lockout mode, but it'll allow the stroke of the shock.
Yeah, so basically picture this. So there's a piston inside the shock that when we go into lockout, we're essentially closing that piston off. So it takes more force for the oil to go through the piston. Okay, so what's happening is that oil will kind of blow through there easier than what lockout was previously.
To allow the
so it actually moves.
A collapse of the shock.
Yep. So that was enjoyable, and again, like tons of messages from a lot of guys we did builds on of like, holy cow, dude, this is exactly what I've been wanting, full cheater mode. And you combine the track and QSE, dude, like
two mods if you're gonna do anything to a sled, that and maybe a lightweight silencer or something lighter than stock. You do those two mods and that, like,
it's a big deal. Yeah.
Good to go.
Which we'll get to that. We'll talk about kind of the perfect sled. Because I think we built one this year and we'll talk about it. Okay. So awesome job on Fox. One thing I'll say too, the lightweight deal, I love that they support me on this. You pick up a box that has front ski shocks in it and you're like, is there only one in here? No, there's two. There's two shocks. Dude, it's mega. So,
and they did that without
compromising.
Like, we didn't have a failure.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to aluminum shafts internal instead of steel, and like it was so cool to see how much material they were able to get rid of, yet still keep the reliability and durability and just the performance. So yeah, it was really cool.
There's a trend going on here with the people that we work with.
Yeah.
And I'm mostly you, work with the companies that want to work with you and listen to your ideas and make this stuff better. Mm-hmm. That's going to go for everybody.
Yeah.
We're talking about here, but
it's getting harder and harder because, I'm tired of saying this, but like the stock sleds are really damn good. So, back in the day, we could make big gains with the aftermarket side of things, and now you can actually make your sled worse, and or the gains are smaller.
It's actually a lot easier to make your sled worse.
Yeah, it is, and you hear us
all the time.
You hear us say that all the time, and that's why we work with the partners we do, and kind of have that agenda that it's like, just make it simple, make it effective, and
I mean, you hear it from us because we see it. I mean, how many sleds did we touch yesterday? 15, 20 sleds we were messing around with, and that's throughout the course of the season. We see a lot of stuff that comes here.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay, cool. Let's roll down to, let's talk about, we did a big push this year. And again, the reason we're able to do this so far into, Matrix chassis came out in 22. We were riding 26 sleds. That's 22, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 5 model years. Okay. And, and that's what I'm kind of trying to get to here, guys, is like, after 5 model years, this is how long it takes, like, a good aftermarket company to feel like, okay, like, we've got a good handle on this. We feel like we can make some gains, and this is our product. Versus, I'm always leery of when model year 22 comes out, first year of the Matrix, and we've got people who have tunes and pipes and all this shit, and I'm like, whoa. Dude, you haven't even ridden this snowmobile and you're making all these crazy claims. So, again, it's why I've trusted SLP from the very beginning, from my 1996 XLT to my 97 700 to my 2026 Boost, is they don't put stuff out there unless they feel it's ready and it works. And so we did a bunch of SLP stage kits for both 850, 9R, Boost. We built a couple of our fleet sleds with those setups. I mean, for my personal guide sled, and I told you guys this in an earlier podcast, and this stemmed from a kit that I ran last year kind of by accident. I've been kind of the anti-tune guy and just Like, don't screw it up. Just ride it. And so, last year my buddy Al at SLP even said that. He's like, I know you like the stock tuning. We do as well, but we've got something here that I just want you to try. And so last year I gave their pump gas tune, kind of their stage kit. So the SLP head, silencer, and pump gas tune, I gave that a shot on one of our in-house boost sleds. And it quickly became my favorite.
Your guide sled.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to take this one.
I am going to take this snowmobile. And so for this year, to a lot of people's surprise, like, yes, I still had my big 900 boost sled for film days and, to go ride with Caleb and Keith and all those guys, right? But my everyday sled was exactly what I talked about, a pump gas snowmobile that just performed so flawlessly, again, like 2 years in a row of just an incredible package. And then, and TJ, like, this is what's fun, and you talk about this, like, so your clan of guys, and you have a lot of them, dude. It's awesome. Like, you have a bunch of buddies back at home who have a little inner circle that just trust what we do here and trust what you do. And so I don't know how many SLP stage 3s with our clutch kit and intake. Like, I don't know how many of those you built, but you got to go with those guys at Togedy for their first experience of, like, these guys rode stock sleds and they were ready kind of for that next step, and kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So Drake, he was actually on a 2022 until this season.
Yep.
And a lot of guys get stuck in that. Well, I got a boost. I got a 22 boost. Why do I need to go spend $20,000 on a 26? And there is it's a big difference.
Big difference, yeah.
It's huge. So, but finally we got Drake on a leftover. Found a 2025 leftover boost. And I'm like, dude, just let me do a couple things to it. I promise. Like, you're gonna love it. And he kind of just, like, gave me the checkbook and said, go build it. So we did SLP. BBA stage 3, so their head, tune, silencer,
And then our clutch kit.
and your clutch kit.
Yep.
And
No, hey, stop. You said your clutch kit.
no, I didn't, did I?
No, you said your clutch. No,
Oh,
it's not my clutch
yeah.
kit. Dude, you've put just as much sweat equity into
Yeah.
this setup. All of us have.
Yeah.
This stems all the way back to when Kyle was here. And, and sorry, I'm going to let you go, but dude, it has been so refreshing. You know what we do now when we, like, early season when we needed to go do testing and validating? We, like, go ride our sleds because I'm like, I don't know, man. It's pretty damn good. We're splitting hairs here when we tried new things, and our setups are just pretty damn dialed.
I'll never forget that. Like, God, was it 2023? We went up to Rabbit Ears how many times with 400 helixes and weights and springs and, like, put it in, go ride it, come back. What do you like? This. What do you don't like? This. Okay, put this clutch kit in, go try it. Like,
Yeah.
we're not just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. Like, that took a long
Well, what was
time to
funny
make
about that
work.
trip, I'll never forget it, is, like, we all come back to the trailer and we're so effing dejected because we have our baseline sled, the stock 23 sled, and we're like, which one do you like? The stock one. And we're like, God dang it. And then we just kept working at it, and we stumbled on the combo that to this day is like, dude, this is pretty damn good.
The amount of hours of footage that I have filming you guys for the amount of secondary swaps and freaking weights and springs and
Yeah. So anyway, Drake gets his holdover sled.
Yeah.
You put some like our turnkey kit, right? So head, silencer, clutch kit, hood. Yeah, you did a hood on it.
Hood 325. I couldn't get him talked into the.
Yeah,
That's coming next year,
which
hopefully.
is good. It's fine.
And I think he could have gave me a big old wet kiss
Uh-huh.
that first time he went and rode it. And he hasn't stopped talking about it. He's like, dude, this sled is just, it's insane.
I mean, especially when you compare it to a 22, right?
Yeah.
Like,
night and day difference.
jeez.
And he had rode mine in previous years. And
You want to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Hop on one of TJ's
Yeah.
sleds.
and like he knew there was going to be a difference, but for how, I don't want to say cheap, what's the word I'm looking for? How cost effective
Yeah.
that kit
Is
is. Like, dude, to make a sled run that good for that price is just,
well, that's
it's insane.
I
It's
mean,
awesome.
this is like insane to think. Like, so from a cost perspective, I have worked my butt off to be in a position where I can just go, I can make a call and I can get a 900 here, right? But like from the cost effective side of things for your time, shop time, like what I'm my goals and what I want to accomplish on the hill, like I felt like this setup would fit me better. And yeah, dude, don't get me wrong. I love my 900s. But you know, for the average consumer as well too, like it is so damn good. I mean,
Well, and
Blake, you ended up with that same setup this year.
Yep. So I actually just ended up putting another one on a sled last night. But I mean, you talk about the difference between doing a 900 kit and doing an SLP Stage 3, right? It's all bolt-on stuff, right? Like, take the head off, follow the torque sequence, you know? You got to drain some coolant, stuff like that. Like, it's involved, but the gain from it is very significant. And it's not so much like I noticed it more on the bottom where you're riding most of the time. When you're in the trees, you want that instant, like, you know, you want that instant spin up, and you get that. So definite advantages to it. I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? We talk about the seat of the pants feel, right? Like, in the money that you're spending, are you getting that out of it?
Yeah.
And I feel you do.
Yeah.
So then that's what I do, right? Same thing with the shocks, same thing with the track, same thing with the, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I guess, you know, to kind of wrap this one up, that is my point, is back in 23, we couldn't even like figure out how to make a noticeable difference over stock with all the shit we were doing. Like, we kept coming back to like, I don't know, man, the stock one works so dang good, you know? And now fast forward, like we all know the 2025 sled works better than a 22 through 24. We know that a 26 in stock form works better than all of the ones in previous to it. And so again, like, just the differences are getting smaller and smaller, but you know, with the right components, you can still make a noticeable gain and not sacrifice any of the, you know, longevity of the motor, the runnability, anything like that. And I guess that's been my favorite part of this particular kit for me, is that, dude, I just put gas in it and I wring that thing's neck bad, like real bad. And it never falls down. It never does anything dumb. It just like shows up to work and is ready to go slay some lines. And I love that.
And pump gas, because hauling gas, man, freaking sucks.
I remember riding yours that first day. We went and rode after building it. And I think I had already put the motor in mine, switched it to a 900. I'm just like, oh, God. I'm not going to say this out loud, but I might have messed up. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of labor. And luckily, I like have your shop and get to do it here. And I've done enough of them that it's like pretty simple. But to just go bolt a head on and flash a tune versus pulling a cylinder off and pistons and switching everything. And it's a lot. It's awesome.
Awesome. So that kind of wraps up our little discussion about SLP and our stage kits. And I didn't even get to really talk about 9R stuff. I built a couple 9Rs to my personal one, the Indy 500 wrap that you can see behind me, that had an SLP stage kit. And it's that 9R stock, dude, runs, like really runs. And this was the first year that I did something, you know, it's not the first year. I did twins on my 23, did a pipe set last year. This year I did the tune, head, and pipe set on this sled. And that sled worked really dang good. I would say not as big of gains that I saw on the boost, but definitely like noticeable for sure. So that was a fun setup. So like, just kudos to those guys. Stuff was working good. And then, you know, all of us, of course, we send our clutches into Patrick's, and again, talk about quantifiable differences. It's like, dude, without question, you just know that, oh, my sled is smooth and nice and pulls RPM and just does everything it needs to do. So, yeah, just, again, systematically, these are the things that we do. All right. I'm going to go on a little tangent here real quick. I've had a lot of favorites of snowmobiles, and whether it's been performance-based or maybe looks-based, but this year, and it's getting tough to figure out the wrap side of things, right? But somehow, dude, Jordan, I don't know how you do it, at Arctic FX, he keeps coming up with, a way to keep this evolution of like what's next on making a snowmobile really pop. And for me, it's been cool to see a bunch of your guys' reactions of, okay, that XC replica wrap, so my white one this year, I think it's my favorite. I love my 97 replica, I really do, but I think like Jordan nailed that. It looks like an XC. I mean, when you see that sled on the snow, and it just, so I don't know, man. And then you guys just got your guys' sleds wrapped, and again, shocker that Blake, you did black and lime, and TJ, you did purple. That's weird.
Blue.
That's weird.
I told Blake yesterday I'm gonna have to find some different colors, I think, next year.
I did a purple one this year, and TJ's like, kind of like that.
Yeah, but for those you guys out there, dude, like the wrap side of things is just fun, and you can be so creative. His website, I mean, I don't know how many hours I've lost of my life just having fun and building cool things. Kinley, her wrap, like with the pink, and then you ended up doing that exact same wrap as Kinley's because you're like, whoa, dude, look at that.
Yep. His website, I don't know. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you need to get on there. You seriously get to pick what design you want, your colors, and then you can actually put what logos you want and like move logos around in spots you want.
And then change the color of the skis and the loops and the running boards to like really, you can mock your snowmobile up identical.
Yeah.
You know what it's going to look like before the wrap goes on it. Yeah. And also coming from a guy who puts a lot of wraps on every year, they're always consistent. Like the lines that I match up on the sled, there's guys who have wrapped a lot of sleds, they know there's certain points that you look at that like where you start the wrap of what it is, and then they always take the same line, and that's cool because it's always consistent.
Yeah. So Jordan, we love you, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna top this one because it's up there. It's one of my faves. We'll have to start working on it early. And that's the other thing too. I always wait till like November, and I'm like, oh, hey, can you like do this full custom wrap? I know you're like a little busy, but my Indy 500 wrap, that freaking turned out pretty sick too. Super simple, matched the actual Indy 500. Anyway, he's a stud. So.
You're running out of retros too.
I know.
We did a super sweet video on that one too.
We did. Yeah, check that out. I know. I thought this was going to be the last year, and then when Blake did when Blake did that Indy 500 tribute video that we have up on the channel, I saw some other ones in there. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. There might be room for one or two more in there. There's some, man. Those colors of the RXL back in the day, those were pretty sick.
That's true. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Anyway,
is that the white, red, and blue one?
So there's a couple different RXLs ones, but there's like this blue and red with the star and like it. I can't remember what year that one was, but the RXL, obviously, like being a trail sled, I don't have a ton of ties to it, but the color combo of it was pretty cool. Okay, moving on. So this dude's just a crazy sucker. My boy Kurt at Carbon Sled. He's just a mad scientist. Kurt is like literally a one-man band. I don't know how you look at the pure artwork of what these carbon sleds these skids, how they come to us. They're just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And the analogy I use, like when someone asks me, like, so, I mean, is the carbon skid that big of a difference? And I literally tell them, the analogy I use is this. It's like you know, you've got a pretty sweet sled. Like, you've got a badass Mustang, right? When you do the carbon skid, you've got a badass ZR1, right? Like,
not taking out crowds, winning races now.
insert Mustang video.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
We're going back on my Ford Chevy. Here. We wiped all that out.
We did, but you know,
Dude,
like a ZR1 is a straight up effing race car.
Yeah.
Right.
Street legal.
Street legal race car
With
that
a
you could
warranty.
literally go buy. And you know, I truly feel that about, and it's not just the looks of it, dude. Like, when you ride a sled with a skid and without a skid, it's like, holy shit. There's 14 pounds less on the snowmobile in a spot that's really tough to get 14 pounds less. And it responds to it like without question. And so, carbon skid, he's added, you know, we did another sled with their full titanium bolt kit. This is the second one you've done now, TJ. And like, I always ask you, like, you have it all laid out and everything. I'm like, is it good? He's like, it's pretty good, man.
It's really good. He did a killer job on that. I think, was that the first tie kit that he released?
This
we did
one,
in that
yeah.
teal one?
Yep.
And that one was even really good. And me and him got to talk a lot and found some bolts that he didn't have in the kit, vice versa. But this kit that we got for Kinley Sled this year was like
Spot on.
perfect. Everything was in there. So, and I really enjoy doing those too.
Well,
you told me we were going to do that. I was like,
yeah,
yes.
You were the one who kind of pushed it when I was like, hey, we're going to sell Kinley's old sled and I want to do something kind of cool. And you're like, that was the first thing out of your mouth. You're like, we're doing bolts, right? I'm like, yeah, we'll do bolts. And it's just, it used to be undoable because of the time it took to source bolts. And, you know, Kurt has literally done all of that work. And when I talked to him, he's like, I don't know why I did that. And it was probably the biggest pain in the ass I've ever done, but it's done. Right. And and we have it. And, the weight loss is awesome. The way it looks on the sled, you know, they're gorgeous and beautiful. But let's talk about the skid. So we've been running the SL4 for many years now, and that has been just rock solid kit. But for this year, SL5, we've got a new linkage on the rear torque arm that basically, now this is where I need to get him on for an actual podcast because he can talk the talk. I can do a good job of telling you guys what the sled does different on the snow, but I'll totally screw up like what it's actually doing from a geometry standpoint. But from what I understand, the linkage basically does a better job of separating the front torque arm and the rear torque arm, making them work more independently of each other, versus almost kind of getting in that position where the front torque arm and rear torque arm kind of fight each other. And so the biggest thing that I noticed, so first and foremost, you guys have heard me say I am a pro guy. So I'm running a pro skid with the new SL5 linkage. But in addition to the carbon sled skid, they also have the linkage that you can literally put or replace the stock shock rod on your stock skid and give you the same benefit, which is really cool. So two new kits. He's got just the actual new linkage kit and the full carbon SL5 skid. So back to what it does. Okay. I should have ordered one of each. I ordered two 165 Pro skids. I wish I would have ordered a 165 Chaos skid, but in the past, in the SL4, the Chaos was just still too much of a chaos for me, and I didn't like it, and I ended up going back to a Pro. So here's what it does, okay? As we've talked about, like, my sled doesn't want to go up and like do the pirouettes and reentries and all that stuff. My sled does this. It's got a lot of power, a lot of traction. It goes like this. It rears up, and then it instantly goes like this and puts those skis about this far off the ground, and you start going 94 miles an hour uphill is what it feels like. It is such a – it's like it reminds me of Star Wars when shit's going by you at about 1 million miles an hour. That's what my sled feels like. And it just like, I can literally just turn up anything in any condition, and I know it's not going to rear up. It's just going to go forward. But the beauty of this, I've had sleds like that in the past, but they had so much damn ski pressure that they were miserable to ride. And so we were always fighting that balance of trying to figure out how do you make it go up but not have a tremendous amount of ski pressure. And that's, in my opinion, what the linkage did extremely well. So I rode both the full carbon skid with the new linkage, and I rode a stock skid with the linkage, and it did the exact same thing. I had a 165 325, which again we talked about in our snow. Dude, normally that thing is a wheelie machine, and you can just like stand it up and at will do a wheelie as long as you want because of our sugar snow. It does the same thing. It stands up, it lays down, and then it goes forward. So for you guys who like love doing the type of stuff I do and getting more into that more technical terrain, dude, like holy cow, I was really impressed with this setup. I know you guys didn't get to spend much time, so you're kind of just nodding your head and like, but you could see it. I don't know how many times. Remember we were on the dark side, and like, I mean, no matter what you did, you were on a 55 and everything, but like it was. I showed you my GoPro clip of me going up it, and you're like, dude, it looks so easy. I'm like, well, it was. Did you hear that pouty? Did you hear that pouty? So I would love to try it in a chaos with the linkage so I could actually do more of the – I have one sled that is almost – you call it a trick sled, right? Like to go do the tricks.
Yeah.
I have a sled that's – both my sleds are built to just go up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I really wish I would have got to try that linkage in the 155 this year.
Yeah.
And see if that was like that happy medium where you could still go up, but party when you wanted to party. So hopefully next year. I was so close to pulling the trigger on a carbon skid this year, and the way the season was going, I was like, I don't know if I want to do it.
It was a tough one
and
to
then
do
it kind of ended. And I'll be on one next year. So
cool.
65 Pro. I'm just going up everything.
Yeah. Well, and you build two sleds, so have your party sled and have your follow me sled.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Awesome. So, Kurt, dude, madman. Love the new stuff, and people are going to be stoked on it. So pretty cool. Okay, we're getting long here. So we're gonna I'm gonna fire you off just a couple of things here real quick. This is like not as exciting as like talking about carbon skids and QSE and tracks and Logans and all this stuff, but it's one of those things that like makes your everyday out on the snow a big difference in my opinion. And so this was kind of like year 2-ish, one, I can't even remember, of the Polaris accessory lineup that I worked with those guys on. And so the toolkit, the saws, the bumpers, just like the things that you kind of take for granted, but
you still need.
How many damn A-arms did we change in the field this year? Mm-hmm. And every time I got that toolkit out, everyone was like, dude, what is that? I'm like, well, it's like the right toolkit that you need to like do this. And I mean, we were getting A-arms changed in like 12 minutes, and
can confirm that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose fault was that, huh?
End of the day.
and then we're back on the snow. And so, again, we always talk about this. It doesn't take, you don't have to carry a lot of crap. You just have to carry the right crap. And so, like, I mean, just the little things. The silky saw is like, holy cow, dude, this is a legit saw to get me out of a little bit of trouble. And I love the toolkit. I love that freaking handlebar bag. I mean, we have like every sled in here has the brackets on it that so we can switch between the bags. And so, man, just it's again it moves slower on the Polaris accessory side of things to get things done, but being able to use that resource to get it bridges that gap from a like fitment standpoint, quality standpoint, all those things to you get that OEM benchmark with some things that we just have to have out there. And so, I really enjoy it, man. I mean, it's just little things. It's like, when I get my toolkit out, it's got the little parts tray. It's like super organized and we get our shit done.
All that stuff we've already talked about, the Fox shocks and all the SLP stuff, that stuff's all great. But the handlebar bag, the tunnel bag, the toolkits, the saws, that's like the necessities. You don't. Yeah. I don't go out in the backcountry without all of that stuff.
Never, not one day.
That's not on my list of, okay, what am I going to do to my sled this year? It's like that's what has to go on the sled to go do that stuff.
See, and I have to make sure TJ has all that stuff because I can't carry any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's tough there.
Friggin' sucker sends me an invoice after fixing an A-arm in the backcountry. I'm like,
I don't
BBA
think that's
invoice?
Yet, so.
What is this?
It is an open invoice.
Interest
I did notice
accumulating.
that. So Polaris, dude, you guys rock. It's been fun working on that. We've got some other projects in the work too. You'll have to kind of keep your eyes peeled for that. We got some fun stuff coming. Okay. We did a video on this, and this goes to kind of what TJ just said. This isn't an option of what we try to figure out what we're going to do. It's a necessity, and it was proven once again. And I know, Blake, you rode in the rain this year. You rode in the rain this year. I rode in the rain in Revelstoke in the bottom. Like, we rode in some very challenging conditions, and it's so easy to get a little complacent of just how damn good our gear is. And so, like, this isn't a climb infomercial. This is just real. Like, when we did that video of when I was going to Revelstoke, I flew up there. And so, it's not like I have my trailer with 14 different suits in there, a couple pairs of boots, all the gloves and goggles. I had one setup that has to fit in this little bag that I'm taking with me. What am I taking? And so if you haven't checked out that video, I thought it turned out really good. But it's no bad days, man.
We don't even question it. We don't even think about it, our gear failing us. Like, I mean, it's not in my thought that, like, when we go out, like when we went and rode, and TJ and we rode through the rain, and we're like, oh man, this kind of sucks.
To start the day,
dude.
That's how we got to our zone.
Start the
you're
day.
soaked
on the outside.
On the outside, I know.
Yeah. And then you do this, and you're like, and then you get up, above the rain, and it starts snowing, and you're like, that was probably our best day this year, arguably best snow, right?
Yeah.
And if we would have had gear that failed us, we wouldn't have got to experience that day, right?
Yeah.
It's just that simple, right?
Well, I don't understand. And again, like, so it's very simple. And you go down this list of companies: Logan, Camzo, Fox, SLP, Arctic FX, Carbon Sled, blah, all the stuff. Like, it's very simple. I have the ability, again, I've worked my ass off to be put into this situation, but I have the ability to go get any product I want out there. The reason that I choose these is because if I had to go spend my own money, would I buy this? Like, that's the only thing when I'm making a decision of, like, Logan, for example, making that switch. Like, after touring the factory and seeing the trailer and getting to be in it and use it, I was like, if this was my own money, because I'm a lot like you guys, it's like, damn, dude, it's like $8,000 more. And then after using it for a year, I'm like, without question, I get my $8,000 back tenfold. And it's no different than on the climb side of things. It's like, dude, this is a separator between having a good day and a bad day. And I don't know how many times I rode this year where I was like, I cannot believe what I'm actually wearing. I'm wearing one little base layer and a shell, and it's freaking blowing 40 miles an hour, and it's 20 degrees, wind chill's like negative whatever, and I am comfortable and warm, and my toes are warm, and I'm like, how does this work? And so just again, like, they don't get enough credit, the team, and how they stick to those high standards of just making sure that we're taken care of.
Yeah. Another thing we don't talk about with Climb either is the avalanche gear that they have. Like, I switched to a vest this year. Love it. Because I used to wear a chest protector under there and stuff, and I don't have to do that anymore. So that's pretty cool, So like, it's just a comfort thing, like, we spend all the money on the snowmobiles. You spend all the money on this stuff. Why skimp on the stuff that's got to keep you warm, dry, get you home,
and being prepared in the backcountry?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
I think their new glove needs a little loving too.
The
new spool.
The spool?
Oh my goodness!
I tried to tell you.
It's
Did you
amazing.
see how it performed in that toilet when I was plunging?
It was, yeah. The T deal was, yeah.
That's right.
I remember that. But seriously, their other gloves are great too. And I used to end up having to carry a couple sets. They would get wet, whatever. It happens when you're pulling people out. But
Yeah, I've heard that does happen.
Yeah, when I'm pulling you out. I went from carrying like quite a few sets of gloves with me to like my pair I leave the day with that I'm wearing, and I bring like one other set of spools, and I'm set for the day.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to change some days.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. They did a killer job on that glove.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think what's crazy about that glove too is we've had this roller coaster of like, it's 10 degrees and it snows, and then the next day it's 45 degrees and it's warm. I can wear it when it's 10 degrees or it's 45 degrees, and I really like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got one last one here to chat about. And so this goes in line with what I just talked about, and that is the perfect sled. Every year it changes, like what my definition of the perfect sled. But at the beginning of the year, I always have my goals and agendas of what I want to build for my personal sleds. And then we take a fleet sled, and this is like, one that Ryan rides when he guides here, and for guys who show up on skidoos that I want to like, hey,
you should go try this.
You should go try this,
yeah.
Right? Like, if you're a performance nut or just like detail oriented, like if you want to know what the best of the best is, go ride this sled. Okay. So, and I love thinking about it this way. Let's just say in how many ever years I'm done, I'm over it. I want to like not have to do all the responsibilities I have to do of being an athlete, right? I just want to go ride my snowmobile. And so like if I had to go to a dealership, buy a snowmobile, accessorize it the way everybody else would, like who come to BBA and shop on the online store and just like do the deal, like what would I build? And this year, like that was, I personally in my head, I'm like, I want to do that. And I want to see how it turns out. And so, here's the list. Are you ready? So like, if I had to go buy it with my own money, this is what I would go do. So I started the build, as a 2026 Polaris Boost 165 Chaos. Okay. There again, you guys have heard us say this. We start with a 165 Chaos, we start with the Chaos because it's pretty easy to make a Chaos a Pro by shortening the limiter strap. A couple little shock adjustments. We have videos on that, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I start with a 165 Chaos. First, I'm going to do a 310 track. That's step number one. Step number two, I'm going to do suspension. I'm going to do Fox air shocks in the front, QSE in the rear. So I got the single wire adjust. So that takes care of the rear. I'm going to do our SLP Stage 3 BBA kit that we were talking about. So silencer, head, pump gas tune, and our clutching. And then I'm going to do a Skins Guzzler cold air intake hood.
So like a Blake Media build, but without the hood.
Without the hood. Yeah.
I just need the hood for storage. That's my only reason. Yeah.
That snowmobile for me, I rode it a bunch early season. It was like, I don't even need to go build my guide sled because here it is.
Right.
Like that. It's simple. It's like, it costs some money, but it's simple. It's bolt on. And the performance over, again, an already wicked badass 26 stock boost was very noticeable.
Well, and like you said, it shows up to work every day. You beat the brakes off of it. And
literally, I had to put brakes on it.
You put it back in the shop, and then you do it again the next day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was the perfect sled.
Yeah.
I freaking loved it. And then, it comes with the necessities, right? It's got the Polaris handlebar bag. It's got the dry bag, rear tunnel bag. I did have a heated brake lever on that. I enjoy that. And it had gauntlets, right? Like, that was it. That's my sled. Are there other things we can do? Yeah, for sure. Like, then we go into bonus time. But for me, if I was going to go build one with my own money, that's what it would be.
It's funny because how many of those did we build this year?
Lots.
A lot of them.
Yep.
Like
And
that exact setup that you just.
Yeah. And I've got this. I'm going to pull up this quick text from a dude that we literally, that's funny, Tucker Hibbert just texted. How's it going? When are we going shed hunting? Tucker, you're awesome. I'm pulling up this text because dude rode his 25 last year, 25 stock boost. Absolutely loved it. Loved it, which we all did. Stock. Like, it was bone stock. And he's like, hey, I'm not getting a new sled this year, looking at doing some goodies. What would you do? I literally copy-pasted that list I just gave you, sent it to him. And he said, finally got to try out the new setup. Works amazing. As always, you do a top shelf job of getting stuff dialed in. Took the week off because we're going back into 50s and 60s again. But I can't wait to ride it. This is the most dynamic sled I've ever ridden. I mean, that's like
the same response we get from everybody we build that sled for.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to that was your crew.
My whole crew. Yep.
That's the setup we built for them. And they're like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Guys, this one ran a little long. I hope you enjoyed kind of our early season recap here in March. Just a wild one. There's places that got snow. You had to go travel to go get it. There's no way this will be 2 years in a row for sure that we'll have a winter like this in Colorado. It's impossible. It can't happen. So, me and the guys here are going to be super fired up about slaying some POW here in Colorado for next season. And, if you have any questions, as always, shoot them in the comments. We take a lot of pride in all of this stuff that we get to talk about. And it's been, boys, like you said, TJ, dude, imagine how, we were still super busy without guiding. I don't know how we would have got it all done.
We would have.
We would have. We do it. But so, Blake, it was awesome having you again. All the content stuff this year, again, little thin from a riding standpoint, but we were able to do a bunch of fun things, and you keep slaying it. And TJ, you're just an absolute boss in the shop. Got to give props up to Dylan. Dylan was here in the madness of November, December. He helped us get rolling. It was pretty incredible having Shane back. Put Shane to work. He's like, dude, I don't care what I do. Just I want to work. And I was like, sweet, wrap duty. Yeah.
I was thankful for that.
Yeah, you were thankful. It was fun hanging with the crew. Hopefully we get some big spring storms. I'm hoping that still happens and we can still get out on the snow and you as well. But in the meantime, go get it. Go find that snow. Go chase it and make it a good day.